No one knows this, but sometimes in the dead of night, long after my husband has fallen asleep and the only sound in the house is the gentle hum of the air purifier in my daughter's room, I still secretly regret the choice I made about my career. It's a confession that feels like a betrayal of the supermom ideal that society loves to peddle, the one where women effortlessly balance thriving careers and blissful motherhood. But more than that, it feels like a betrayal of my daughter, Lily, as if by admitting the secret regret, I'm somehow saying she wasn't worth it. And that's the knife twist that keeps this secret locked away deep in the vault of my late night thoughts. Before Lily, I was ambitious, driven. My career in marketing wasn't just a job, it was a part of my identity. I climbed the ladder quickly, thrived on the pressure, and genuinely loved the creative challenges. David, my husband, was equally career focused, and we envisioned a life of dual successes, supporting each other's aspirations. When Lily arrived, everything shifted. The sleepless nights, the overwhelming responsibility, the sheer all consuming nature of caring for a tiny human. It was beautiful, yes, but it was also relentlessly demanding. The carefully constructed balance of our pre baby life tilted so dramatically that it shattered. We talked for hours about what to do. Daycare costs were astronomical. My maternity leave was finite. David's job had more flexibility, but his income was also the primary source keeping our little family afloat. After weeks of agonizing, we made a decision that felt logical, responsible, and utterly soul-crushing to me. I would be the one to step back. I would become a stay-at-home mom, at least for Lily's early years. In the daylight, I embraced it. I joined Mommy and Me groups. I meticulously planned sensory activities. Ironically, after the Play-Doh disaster, I reveled in Lily's milestones, the first smile, the first step. I told everyone how lucky I was to have this precious time with her. And I meant it. I did. Those moments were pure, unfiltered joy. But then night would fall, and the house would grow quiet, and the ghosts of my former life would creep out of the shadows. I'd scroll through LinkedIn, seeing former colleagues celebrating promotions, launching innovative campaigns, living the life I had envisioned for myself. A pang of longing, sharp and undeniable, would pierce through my carefully constructed contentment. Was I enough now? Just mom? Had I traded my potential for pureed vegetables and nap schedules? The guilt would follow swiftly, a heavy blanket smothering my secret yearning. How could I even think such selfish thoughts when I held the most perfect, precious baby in my arms?
The years passed in a blur of firsts and lasts. First words, first tantrums, first days of preschool. With each milestone, the intensity of those early days softened, but the underlying hum of regret never quite faded. As Lily grew more independent, the silence in the house during her school hours became deafening. The days stretched long, filled with laundry and errands, a stark contrast to the fast-paced, intellectually stimulating world I once inhabited. I tried to fill the void. I volunteered at Lily's school. I took online courses. I even started a small freelance writing gig. But it wasn't the same. It lacked the camaraderie, the challenge, the sense of building something bigger than myself that my career had provided. And the what ifs would whisper in the quiet moments. What if we had found a way to make daycare work? What if David had taken a longer paternity leave and we had shared the initial intense period more equally? What if I had just pushed through the exhaustion and tried to juggle both? These weren't accusatory questions aimed at David. They were directed inward, a constant self-recrimination. I was the one who made the choice. I was the one who prioritized Lily's early years over my professional ambitions. And while a part of me knew it was the right decision for our family at the time, another part of me couldn't shake the feeling that I had somehow diminished myself. This secret regret manifested in subtle ways. A slight defensiveness when someone asked what I did all day, a tendency to overcompensate when talking about other mothers with thriving careers, praising their amazing balance with a touch too much enthusiasm, a late night habit of scrolling through job postings, even though I knew, realistically, I wasn't ready to jump back in. Not yet. But the gnawing feeling remained. Had I sacrificed too much? Would I ever be able to reclaim that part of myself? Was it too late? The weight of this secret felt immense, a hidden burden I carried through school drop-offs and birthday parties, through family vacations and quiet evenings on the couch. I smiled and nodded and played the part of the content stay-at-home mom, while inside a small voice whispered a constant refrain of, "What if? What if?" And then there were the moments with Lily, the pure, unadulterated joy of watching her discover the world, her infectious laughter, her trusting hugs. In those moments, the regret would recede, replaced by a fierce, protective love. This, I would think, this is what matters. This is why I made the choice I did. But the cycle would always return, especially in the stillness of the night. The secret, the what-ifs, the quiet ache of a life not fully lived.
Last week, Lily had a school project, a family timeline. We spent an evening looking through old photos, reminiscing about different stages of her life. There were pictures of me, pregnant and glowing, pictures of the chaotic newborn days, pictures of first steps and messy birthday parties. And then we came across a photo from before Lily was born. It was David and me at a work event. I was dressed in a sharp suit, a confident smile on my face, holding a glass of champagne. I looked different. Younger, yes, but also vibrant. Alive in a way that felt distant now. Lily pointed at the photo. "Mommy, you look so happy. What were you doing then?" A wave of conflicting emotions washed over me. Pride in who I was. Sadness for who I wasn't. At least not right now. A flicker of that old ambition, long dormant. I explained to her about my job, the challenges I loved, the sense of accomplishment I felt. As I spoke, I saw a spark of understanding in her eyes. Not sadness that I wasn't doing that anymore, but a genuine interest in that past version of me. Later that night, after Lily was asleep, I found myself staring at that photo again. The what if was louder than usual. And then a new thought emerged, pushing through the familiar regret. What if the regret wasn't about the choice itself, but about the feeling that it was a permanent one? What if the sacrifice I felt I had made wasn't the end of my story, but just a chapter? The internet is full of stories about women who returned to their careers after years of being stay-at-home mothers, who reinvented themselves, who found new passions. Maybe my story wasn't over. Maybe that ambitious woman in the photograph was still in there, just waiting for the right time to reemerge. This realization didn't erase the years of secret regret, but it did something profound. It shifted the focus from the past to the future. It replaced the what if with the what now. No one knows this, but sometimes, in the dead of night, when the house is still and the possibilities feel infinite, I no longer just regret the choice I made. Now, I also secretly dream about the choices I might make. about the woman I was and the woman I might still become. Have you ever felt a secret regret about a choice you made for your family? What helped you move through it? Or are you still navigating those feelings? Share your story in the comments below. And if this story resonated, you might also find comfort in our story about the unexpected realizations that can happen in the quiet hours of motherhood by clicking the video on your screen now. You are not alone.